Right. So, interesting angle. Let me walk you a little bit through episode two, start of episode two of this road to 100K. Hold up. There you go. Is this better? Yeah. Road to 100K in Propfirm Payouts. Started off with pretty much just the second week, right? What we're going to be doing is just looking at PA together, analyze the markets a little bit, go over the sentiment of the market as well, and just see what we can do. Currently, the account is still just standing at 208, and I got my hands chopped up on Monday just a little bit. So I'll explain exactly those trades as well. But without further ado, let's get straight into it. Let's go and break down this second week of trading. I'll be walking you guys through pretty much just my thought process as well, with a couple of antics. So we're in a little bit of a tough pickle here, um, because we've got this great bias in we've had this great bias for pretty much all of this month, and I just want to share my thoughts with what it kind of looks like when I am doubting positions. So here what we have is my futures. So I trade FX futures as well. This is all done via TT. And then obviously I've got my setup here, where you can see the CFD side of things, and obviously I've got trading view up here in a different multi-screen layout as such that I can split up. But like the doubt is, and this is kind of where it gets a little bit interesting, especially for you guys to understand where I'm coming from, is that I execute on so many different things, right? I trade futures, I trade private capital, I trade now the quant tech account as well, and I trade like big capital CFDs for numerous different hedge funds as well. And all of that is kind of the big question is I'm rolling positions, and I formulate my bias on one idea, right, which is where that start of week commences with. And then from there, I try to run it through all the different, let's say, types of, instruments or ways of trading FX, whether that's CFDs, spot, or futures. And now it's like we've got this position. I completely missed it, but I did give, let's say, on the future side of things, entered twice here, but I just missed entering on CFDs, entering on the Propfirm account. So these are things that are going to be very prominent in this challenge, I believe. It's going to be a little bit interesting to figure out how I can find my balance of trying to execute, right? I've got one phone, I've got two, and then I've got my last one, all with different platforms, with different, let's say, accounts, and all attached to different copiers. And yeah, so like I said, it's not always sunshine and rainbows, and this is exactly one of these moments where you need to be quick with your executions. I'm holding positions overnight that I can use with my electronic trading hours, which was new for me as well, realizing that I couldn't close my position yesterday, so I had to hold it overnight. And I'm still figuring out this setup, still figuring out TT, whilst we're doing this entire roadmap. So yeah, that's that's fun. I'm excited. So I'll see you guys when I shoot something on CFDs. At least the sentiment here is we want EU shorts on. So we just took the position on CFDs, this one, and on futures we are just ramming about the whole time. I'll be breaking down the position obviously post, but I just wanted to showcase my thoughts during the position, which is pretty good. So that's this one. That is now. Oh, you guys can't see it. Maybe you can. Yeah, it's doing numbers. So that's good. That's good to see. Bringing it back after the little blunder from yesterday. So yeah, that's that. So that didn't really go as expected, But I do want to showcase you exactly the simplest way as to why I was looking for shorts there and why they were relatively valid in my opinion. So overall, you can see that we're on the daily of Euro USD, and you can see that although we had divergence between DXY and EU with this low and the low previous to that one as well, which was this one right here, you can see that there was still reasoning for me to believe why we should have gone lower, because this was the first array that we had on the daily time frame when it comes to bearish arrays, right? So we had a fail break to the upside right here, so price didn't create a new higher high, and we had no arrays in this leg. We were in deep premium. We created a bullish imbalance right here, right, that you can see here, and then from there we induced that, went through. Sure, obviously we traded into this BPR, and we traded into this imbalance right here as well, this bullish imbalance. Wasn't really too worried about that. As you can see, this held now, which is a whole different story. But you can see that this was a valid area to start looking for shorts, in my opinion. But aside from that, let's go into the M15. Let's showcase you guys what it looks like on the lower time frames and kind of break it down from there. So overall, you can see that this is where we had the position. And again, this is a little bit of a small tip, but if the daily bearish imbalance showcases this, so if the daily imbalance is smaller than, let's say, the refinement you can do on H4, focus on the one which is the higher time frame one, which is a prime example here as to where it started to get interesting to look for shorts. So in my opinion, right here, after we swept this high once and kind of managed to stay above and kind of came to that level one more time, instead of drawing the H4 imbalance like this, right, it's my personal preference maybe, but I'm more of a fan of doing it in that way rather than trying to implement something different, because you look at the daily one more time here and you can see like, okay, hey, we tapped that daily proximal line one more time, which is great, which holds a lot more weight than, let's say, drawing this one. Although you come to the same conclusion. Look, H1 is now refined in my opinion, because it's smaller than the H4 one, which was the entire leg here. But if you understand just a little bit of price fractality, you shouldn't be too stressed, because you can draw this one, you can draw that one. Overall, what it comes down to is the same area, because a liquidity void is a liquidity void at the end of the day, right? So we got knacked here, but if we draw a little bit of H1 that we can add to the equation, it was pretty simple what we wanted to do. Just target previous daily low would have been ideal, right? That was right here. And then go for some sort of real external target for that low right here, because this low still didn't break this high, right? So from this aspect, what I'm anticipating is price to look for liquidity one more time before we seek those highs and these highs and fill the void eventually here. That was my reasoning, that was my thought process behind it, from a higher time frame narrative into flow state as well. And then if we go to M15, you can see that this is the result, and overall not the nicest. It was here you can see M15 played the par, which was totally okay, went super well until it didn't, and kind of the issue was that we just didn't really have anything to really play off of on M15 for the first trade. The second one was great, it was running very, very well, but then obviously the news regarding the peace deal came out, which just made it a lot more difficult. So let's go down one more time frame into M5, and you can see that this 9 times out of 10 just isn't the smartest thing to do. The reason for that being is that we had the smallest, like, you're nitpicking here, which just isn't smart to do. This became your shift. not really much of an order block. There was intent, there was an imbalance right here. Overall, entered off of the shift, traded right into this bullish order block, right? And we had New York midnight here with this protraction lower. Not the smartest thing to do, as I said. So there's not a lot that you can do. Stop loss placement was good. I went for the low of London, of that pretty much that protraction, which it is, prior to the actual move of the day. I traded an M15 intent into M15 bullish intent, right? And that's what you can see here as well. The smallest M15 imbalance and bullish order block. Like again, with ETF, most ideal is to have both of them synced up. That's what you would like. So unfortunately, I didn't manage to do that, but it is what it is. So I'm totally okay with that. Let's go into the next trade. The next trade was really good, in my opinion. M15 was there. There was a clear shift. There was enough intent for price to go lower, but overall, just got knacked. And again, this is, I would say, somewhat more out of your control. Could I have taken a partial? I could have potentially taken something off right here, going into the first opposing array like this. But again, not something that I'm too fond of. So that was my second trade on the account in the road to 100K in Propfirm payouts. And let me wrap up this episode with the last trade that brought us back in profit. So the fourth trade on the account that brought us back at pretty much 1% was this one, this idea of this short. And again, this is the day after yesterday, after the loss. And let me pretty much break it down. Again, very, very aggressive setup, in my opinion, being a little bit too aggressive with the competition from trade flow being done. But you can see that I'm bringing the same characteristics to the Quant Techo account as well. But overall, very, very good. I should have just kept it in that sense where I was going for internal targets. Again, what I missed in the morning was very unfortunate, but you guys are familiar. I could have played something along these lines, right? Because we are sweeping Asia high, and previous daily high was right here. So this could have been your morning play. But again, M15 was right here. Just didn't like the look of that. And RR was not the way that I would normally. It's nitpicking, right? If you were to enter on M5, it was very nice. M15 would have been here. That just was under my 1.5 threshold. Even if you were to put your stop loss super tight, still just not really there. But Asia low kept being was left open, and then we saw pretty much El Clasico just with a nice E1 where we're creating a range. We want to deviate above that range, and then we will deviate below. And that should have just been it, right? I should have just taken that into account and been okay with that, been content with this, because that would have also been 1.5. But no, I had further targets right here. I believe it was at this low even. It just didn't get reached. I did do one partial, which got us into that profit, which was nice. Playing this very, very heavy 25 lots onto a 20 lots. And again, whipsaw movement, very illiquid market that just took everything, round tripped everything. Unfortunately, I didn't move SL to break even. The reason for that is that I was playing pretty much that external target. But other than that, I was quite content with how we were. Looking for at least that first take profit, that first level right here. So yeah, guys, that's my fourth trade on the road to 100K in Propfirm payouts. And I'll be seeing you guys in episode 3. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys learned something from this. and I look forward to showcasing you guys everything that happens afterwards. Right, so just a quick update. We're currently in Rome at the moment for that first edition Trade Flow event, which is today. We've got the walk-in and the entire lunch, dinner that's about to be facilitated, which is super great. But I thought I'd take you guys a little bit into just my week currently, how it's going with the road to 100K in Propfirm payouts. So as you guys know, we're currently up just a little bit more than 1% on the account. The first 2 weeks of November, right, were a little bit slow. Then we had that home run, and then we took the losses and everything. But I thought I'd also document a little bit what the community is like and what we're doing at the moment in the space, especially with these competitions. So as you know, I won the first edition trade flow competition, and we're gonna receive our awards today. And aside from that, we're just at a great location, which I'm super gassed about. And these are just small things that I want to bring to the space as well, showcasing all these things, and also just bringing people together, whether it's via AO, whether it's via trade flow. Just all in all, it's such a lonely journey sometimes, the entire trading space. And that's why it's so beautiful when you can bring like-minded people together that have shared the same struggles and that have gone through the same journey and that are experiencing the same things, because sometimes it's so difficult to feel how people can't relate to you, or it feels like people can't relate to you, and then it's very nice to have that reassurance that people will. So let me show you around as much as I can, obviously, in this location, because it is super fun. I've got a great room that is a bit dark, keeping the aesthetics like that. But let's get ready, and yeah, I'll see you guys pretty much in a second.